to this evening learn another good piece of advice on how to guard our eyes. We'll start off with the Talmud in Masechet Avodah Zarah. The Gemara goes and discusses, analyzes the very first psalm in the Tehillim. Tehillim as follows, starts off, Ashrei, I'll read you the Gemara. Tarash Rabbi Shimon ben Pazi, my dichtiv, the Gemara is, Rabbi Shimon ben Pazi is disturbed. My dichtiv Ashrei ha'ish asher lo alach ba'atzat reshaim uvderech hata'im lo amad uvmoshav letzim lo yashav. So what's going on? Praiseworthy is a man that did not go with the advice of evil individuals, and he didn't go in the path, he didn't stand in the path of bad things, and he didn't sit amongst mockers, scoffers, jokers. What's this guy doing? He didn't do this, he didn't do that, what's going on? He says, V'chi me'achar shelo halach, hechan amad. He said, if he didn't go, we said this, the first thing was, he didn't go. So if he didn't go, where's he standing? He's not supposed to be standing. U'me'achar shelo amad, hechan yashav. If he didn't stand up to go somewhere where he's not supposed to be, if he's not there, so what does it mean? He didn't sit somewhere. U'me'achar shelo yashav, and since he didn't go, which didn't make him stand somewhere, which make him didn't sit anywhere bad, who did he scoff and joke around with? Hechan latz. So therefore, the Gemara, look what he answers. He says, he didn't go, right? What did he do wrong? He says as follows, Ela lomar lecha, she'im halach, sofo la'amod, v'im amad, sofo leshev, v'im yashav, sofo lalutz. That if he would have started by getting up to go, it would have led him to standing in the wrong place. And once he's already in the wrong place, he would have sat down. And once he would have sat down, he would have already sat down with the scoffers and the sinners, as we know that the Tehillim is speaking about. So the Gemara is telling us something amazing. He's saying once you're already on the path for failure, you're kind of doomed. It's very hard to break out of. And with that introduction, the Stipler, the Kilot Yaakov, he says that at the moment of when they are taken by the Yetzer Hara, they're in the moment of the sin, or they're on the way leading up to a sin, any sin, it's too late to turn back. It's almost impossible to turn away. Right at the moment, right before the moment, it's almost impossible. You are engulfed and taken in control by the Yetzer Hara. And therefore, he says, one has to do all the precautions beforehand. As David HaMelech is telling us, don't even go. Because if you go, you'll stand in the wrong place. You'll sit in the wrong place. You'll sit down with the wrong people. You'll say the wrong things. You'll do the wrong things. And therefore, he says, it's very important who you surround yourself with. Who are your friends? Who do you speak to? What do you speak about? What's the content of your conversation? It's an obvious thing. If you have good influence, you will grow. If you have the wrong influence, lo alenu, it will be the opposite. And therefore, we have to be very careful on what we're about to do, because that will lead to the next step. And he says that when one is in the moment of sin, there is no fear of heaven. The Yirat Shamayim is gone. I'll end off with one more piece from Rabbi Pincus Zatzal. Rabbi Pincus says something amazing. He says, who do we have greater than, when it comes to tzidkut, than Yosef HaTzadik? He was by far, had the greatest temptation, and he saved himself. What did he do at the moment? The moment of fire, the moment of sin. He didn't speak to her and say, listen, no, this. He got up and he ran. He left his clothes behind. It was do or die. It was you make it or you miss it. So we learn from Yosef that in the moment, we have to make that decision. Because if we don't make the decision quickly, it will unfortunately be too late. And Rabbi Pincus ends off by saying, Hashem gave us a very big gift. And the gift is the potential and the capability for us to close our eyes. As we've explained before, closing one's eyes is so quickly. It's very easy. However, the temptation is very hard. It's zelu madzeh almost. It's so easy physically to close one's eyes. but the will to do it is so opposite. And therefore, we've spoken about this, training our eyes not to look around, even for things which are allowed to be, even for things that gain our curiosity, just by training ourselves to avoid always looking at everybody, everyone that walks in the room, everyone that does something good, everyone that does something bad. Mister, we need to know everything. You don't need to know everything. Wanting to know, the need to know everything will make you know everything, even the things you're not supposed to see, the things you're not supposed to know. And therefore, based on that, it's important that we nip the Yetzer Hara at its bud, because if you're too deep into it, it's almost impossible. How? By surrounding yourself with a good environment, and then understanding that it's a do or die situation. We need to do it, or else the opposite happens. And then thanking HaKadosh Baruch Hu for the gift that we have of our eyes, and the potential to block it out as quick as possible, and overcome B'ezrat Hashem that drive of the Yetzer Hara. B'ezrat Hashem HaKadosh Baruch Hu will bless us to overcome this temptation. B'ezrat Hashem, Amen.